Members of the Senate are focusing on gun rights in the wake of the Supreme Court's Bruin decision.
Major decision from the Supreme Court that could have larger implications on gun laws nationwide.
Will allow scrutiny for all gun laws pertaining to everything: assault weapons, age restrictions, restrictions on magazines.
This is big.
Topics ranging from gun rights and private property laws to foreign property confiscation.
It also puts state laws in jeopardy that are similar to this law.
It triggers something in me that something has to be done.
It conflicts with the Second Amendment's right to bear arms.
It's a case that legal experts will be watching closely.
5 major gun law changes are about to hit, and if you're not ready, your concealed carry could become illegal overnight. We're talking 38 days from now, January 1st, 2026. These aren't proposals or wishful thinking. They're signed into law, and at least one will affect you directly. What makes this urgent is that some changes already went live in November 2025, and most gun owners still don't know about them. By the time you finish watching, you'll know exactly what's changing, which states are affected, and the specific steps you need to take today to stay legal. Let's start with the federal change that's about to save you serious money. On January 1st, 2026, the $200 NFA tax stamp dies. That's right, suppressors, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, and any other NFA items will still require registration, but the fee vanishes completely. Congress buried this in the July 2025 firearms reform package, and it's happening whether you're ready or not. Here's where it gets interesting. If you've been holding off on buying a suppressor for home defense because of the extra cost, you just saved $200. Same goes for that short-barreled rifle you've been eyeing for your truck gun. Dealers are already reporting pre-order lists that stretch into February, and we haven't even hit the deadline yet. But there's a catch that could cost you. If you submitted Form 4 paperwork after November 1st and already paid the fee, the ATF won't refund your money. They've made that crystal clear. So if you're halfway through the paperwork right now, stop immediately. Wait until January 1st to file, or you're basically making a donation to the federal government.
Is a massive deal. It directly goes after the ATF's tactics over the last 2 years.
ATF and the government is going to fight this every step of the way. And sooner or later, it will land before the Supreme Court.
They really don't know what to do with this one, which is always a good thing to see.
There is a difference between states deciding how they want to regulate any number of things versus stripping people of their rights to self-defense.
The government may not regulate individuals' possessions of weapons for self-defense.
This is not a gun decision.
No.
It's not. This was not decided on Second Amendment grounds.
Dealers are taking pre-orders for January 1st submissions, which sounds great until you read the fine print. Make absolutely sure your Form 4 gets time-stamped January 1st or later. Some dealers are getting sloppy with dates, and that mistake costs you $200. Don't expect faster processing just because the fee disappeared. The ATF still quotes 90 to 180 days for approval. You'll still need fingerprints, photos, and a background check. And here's the critical part. Possessing an unregistered NFA item remains a 10-year federal felony. The tax might be gone, but skip the paperwork and you're still looking at federal prison. Now for the change that's already affecting gun owners right now. On November 1st, 2025, federal penalties for straw purchases and lying on Form 4473 doubled overnight. A straw purchase, buying a gun for someone who can't legally own one, used to max out at 5 years in federal prison. Now it's 10 years, and prosecutors are hunting these cases aggressively. The numbers tell the story. In 2024, the ATF brought over 300 straw purchase cases, and that number is climbing fast. They're not playing around anymore. Federal agents are cross-referencing Form 4473s with bank records, social media posts, and security camera footage from gun stores. They're building cases that stick.
But public safety concerns must be addressed in ways that are lawful.
You couldn't get a firearm and carry it just because you wanted to be protected against criminals.
House would keep gun owners' information private.
Not giving notice, well, that's required. And when you take that away from people, you don't follow the rulemaking process, and you have to invalidate the rule.
Basically, they kick the ATF in the teeth. They seem kind of punch drunk. They seem as though they got the bell rung pretty bad.
We want to see Congress pass laws that will help reduce crime without infringing on the rights of law-abiding citizens.
Saying setting a higher threshold in an emergency could mean life or death.
Even more concerning is what happened to lying about drug use on Question 21E. That penalty jumped from 2 years to 5 years federal time. And before you think this doesn't apply to you, consider this scenario. You live in a state where marijuana is legal. You post a photo at a dispensary or with a joint. 2 weeks later, you buy a firearm. That social media post just became evidence in a federal case against you. The message is clear: never buy a gun for anyone else, no matter who asks or what story they tell. If you want to gift a firearm, only do it for immediate family members who can legally own guns, and keep detailed records of the transfer. Answer every question on Form 4473 as if federal agents are watching, because increasingly they are. Colorado just dropped a bombshell that takes effect August 1st, 2026. Senate Bill 3, signed in April 2025, requires a state-approved training course and permit before you can take possession of any semi-automatic firearm. We're talking rifles, pistols, shotguns. If it's semi-auto, you need the permit. The course runs 4 hours and covers safe handling, storage laws, Colorado regulations, and includes a live fire qualification. Cost varies, but expect around $75. The good news for current Colorado concealed handgun permit holders: you're exempt. Your CHP satisfies the requirement automatically. There's a grandfather clause that matters. Any semi-auto firearms you own before August 1st, 2026 remain legal without the new permit. But after that date, taking possession of a new semi-auto without the permit becomes a Class 2 misdemeanor. That means up to 120 days in jail and a $750 fine.
This case could reshape how far states can restrict your right to carry.
This is an issue that every gun owner should be concerned about, and we in Congress should be concerned about it too.
When things sound really good for gun owners in court, that doesn't mean it's over.
Give us transparency in how you're going to handle them, and if there's a roadmap of what you're going to follow that's more clear, then it's going to be a fair process for everyone.
ATF is getting another lawsuit, this time by half of the country.
This will get appealed, and this might go back and forth a little bit, but for right now, this is where we're at.
For the Supreme Court, it's all about language, reasonable suspicion, objective reasonable belief, or probable cause.
The permit lasts 5 years, then you need a refresher course. Instructors must be state certified, and that list drops June 1st, 2026 on the Colorado Bureau of Investigation website. If you live in Colorado and plan to buy any semi-auto firearms, book your class early. July 2026 slots will disappear faster than ammunition during an election year. Kentucky joins the red flag law states on February 1st, 2026, and this one has teeth. The new Extreme Risk Protection Order allows family members, household members, dating partners, or any law enforcement officer to petition a court to confiscate your firearms before you get a hearing. The standard for an emergency order is reasonable cause, a dangerously low bar. Once a judge signs that order, you have 24 hours to surrender every firearm you own. Your carry permit gets suspended instantly. You'll get a full hearing within 14 days, but until then, you're completely disarmed. These orders can last up to 1 year and can be renewed. Violating the order isn't a slap on the wrist, it's a Class D felony carrying 1 to 5 years in prison. Even when the order expires, your guns don't automatically come back. You have to petition the court for their return. If you're going through a messy divorce, custody battle, or family dispute in Kentucky, start documenting everything now. Save texts, record conversations where legal, maintain a timeline of events. Your defense starts the moment someone considers filing against you. If you get served with an order, hire an attorney immediately. This isn't traffic court, it's Second Amendment civil rights litigation. The final change could override everything else we've discussed. The Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, H.R. 38, was reintroduced in January 2025 with 213 House co-sponsors. If this passes, every state must honor every other state's carry permits, just like they do with driver's licenses. Think about what this means. Your Utah permit would work in New Jersey. Your Florida permit would be valid in New York. States couldn't add extra requirements or restrictions for out-of-state permit holders. The patchwork nightmare of checking reciprocity maps before every trip would end overnight. H.R. 38 already passed the House once back in 2017 but died in the Senate. The 2025 version sits in the Judiciary Committee right now. Interstate travelers would only need their home state permit, solving a problem that's plagued lawful carriers for decades. But pump the brakes on celebration. This isn't law yet. Even if it passes both chambers and gets signed, expect immediate court challenges and enforcement confusion.
My response to that is that's the same claptrap that they have been using for 20 years.
And today, the Supreme Court said that's unconstitutional. That puts a limit on the right to have a gun.
We won't see changes overnight, but it's going to be quick.
This is currently the rule until they decide to change their minds, which they inevitably probably will.
Everybody has a right if they're a responsible adult.
The ATF overreach has been stopped once again.
Some states will fight this tooth and nail until a president signs it and the Supreme Court upholds it. Keep checking those reciprocity maps and maintaining non-resident permits for your regular travel routes. Your action plan starts right now. Mark these dates in whatever calendar you use. January 1st, 2026, NFA tax stamp fee eliminated. February 1st, 2026, Kentucky red flag law goes live. August 1st, 2026, Colorado semi-auto training requirement begins. If you're planning any NFA purchases, wait until January 1st to file your Form 4, not December 31st, not December 30th, January 1st or later. Save yourself $200 per item. Never attempt a straw purchase or lie on Form 4473. Those doubled penalties aren't worth risking a decade in federal prison. For those traveling with firearms, keep monitoring HR 38's progress, but follow current reciprocity laws religiously. One traffic stop in the wrong state can ruin your life. Colorado residents should book training classes now before the rush hits. Kentucky residents need to understand red flag procedures and document any contentious relationships. Gun laws are shifting faster than we've seen in decades. Some changes help law-abiding owners, others create new pitfalls. The difference between staying legal and becoming a felon might come down to knowing these dates and taking action today. Don't assume you'll remember in a month. Don't assume these laws won't be enforced. Don't assume you're safe because you've always followed the rules. The landscape is changing, enforcement is intensifying, and prosecutors are pursuing cases they used to ignore. Whether you carry daily, own for home defense, or enjoy recreational shooting, at least one of these changes affects you directly. The question isn't whether you need to act, it's whether you'll act in time. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.